Hey, welcome to the Plaid X2 channel. My name is John, and on this channel we talk about all things physical media. So movies, music, and books. So if you're into that kind of thing, go ahead, hit subscribe down below for more of that kind of content. Well, this video is going to be a little bit different. We are going to celebrate what is, I think, my favorite all-time movie franchise. Lord of the Rings would be second, but first is the Rocky franchise. And so it came out on November the 21st, 1976. So I wasn't even born yet when this film series came out, but it has become my favorite all-time film franchise. So what I thought I would do is I would walk through the Rocky films, which I do count the Creed films to be a part of this franchise, this Rocky world, and we're going to rank them into my favorite films from the Rocky Creed franchise. Now, normally when we do these ranking videos, I will hold up the film, and of course I have all these films on Blu-ray, but I have Rocky 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then Rocky Balboa all in one set here. And then I have the individual releases of Creed and Creed 2. So because I don't have individual releases for all of them, I don't want to hold up the same one that's set every single time. So instead, I'm going to put the movie poster up here when we rank these films. So anyway, I absolutely love the Rocky franchise. I have a VHS here of Rocky 4, not necessarily my favorite Rocky film, as you'll find out in this ranking, but I found it at a Goodwill for $1, and I want to fill out the rest of the Rocky films on VHS when I find them. This is a photo my wife purchased for me for Christmas a couple of years ago. Burt Young autographed this poster. It's from Rocky, the first one, and Paulie, after Rocky, Paulie is my favorite character, and I absolutely love his character. I love what Burt Young did with that character, and you'll hear more about it in the ranking. But anyway, to celebrate the Rocky franchise, here is my ranking of the Rocky Creed films. So coming in at number 8 is Rocky 5. If you've seen Rocky 5, I'm sorry. No, I can't say that. Rocky 5, I absolutely, of course I love it because it's part of the Rocky story, but Rocky 5 just has not a whole lot about it that I love, not a whole lot that I'm excited about. I felt it was a bit of a waste. I believe Stallone himself in interviews says he wasn't really happy with how Rocky 5 turned out, and really no one in the fan base was either. But anyway, I'm glad it's, I guess, part of the story. There was some interesting stuff in it, but for me, coming in last in the 8th place in my ranking of the Rocky Creed films is Rocky 5. So coming in at number 7, and this may bother some Rocky fans and enthusiasts, but I didn't love this one. And for me, it's Rocky 3. You got Hulk Hogan in there, you got Mr. T as Clubber Lang, and for me, it was kind of over the top. There was some silliness to it, which maybe was the point of it. There's obviously some Rocky stuff in there that I love. That's great. Sure, there was some cool fight stuff in there, but overall, wasn't my favorite film. It's not one that I run back to watch over and over. I would certainly watch it more than I would Rocky 5, but for me, Rocky 3 comes in at number 7. Now, coming in at number 6, and this might really bother some Rocky fans, but for me, coming in at number 6 is Rocky 4. I know the Drago fight is enormous. It is just like, it's a legendary, the fight scene, and it's powerful. Stallone literally was flown to a hospital when when Dolph Lundgren actually hit him in the ring while filming. I believe it stopped his heart. He literally had to be medevaced out of there. So it's realistic, it's crazy, it's powerful, it is exciting, but again, it's a little over the top in some spots for me, and I do like it, and I know its importance in this whole Rocky franchise, especially as we move into the Creed films. But for me, it does come in at number 6, Rocky 4. So now coming in at number 5, all of the rest of these films I love, and it's really, really hard to say which one I like more than the other because all of them mean a lot to me, and I find them motivating and captivating. I cry in a lot of Rocky films, I'm not going to lie to you. But for me, coming in at number 5 is Rocky 2. And spoiler alert, so shut this off if you've never seen the Rocky films. He wins in Rocky 2, and so it's really cool to see that. Rocky 1, so great, so powerful, amazing, but in Rocky 2, you see him hit the peak, the mountaintop that he wanted to hit, that he was training for, that he was so passionate about, that he dedicated his life to. And so for me, Rocky 2 is a really, really beautiful and powerful film. And for me, it comes in at number 5. So coming in at number 4 for me is Creed 2. Michael B. Jordan absolutely killed it in those 2 Creed films. I loved him in that role, playing Adonis, and the relationship between him and Rocky I think is so great, so powerful, so beautiful. I really, really enjoyed Creed 2. The training montage I didn't like as much as the other films' training montages, but in this film I love the end. And if this is the end of the whole Rocky Creed franchise, then that's fine with me because the end was so beautiful. I love Michael B. Jordan, how the closure in his life that he experiences in this film. When it comes to Stallone and the Rocky character, the last scene in this film, I was so hoping for so much of what happened in that last scene, and it happened. So as a huge fan of the franchise, it was such a great payoff. I'm not gonna lie, I was crying in the theater. I cry it when I watch it on Blu-ray. It's such a great end to the film in Creed 2. So for me, Creed 2 comes in at number 4. All right, so we're at number 3 now, and this is getting really hard because these last 3 films I love so much and I've watched them so many times, but I have to rank them. So coming in for me in the 3rd spot is Rocky Balboa. Now this happened after Rocky 5, and I won't lie to you, I was so nervous when they said they're gonna do this film. I thought this is gonna be ridiculous. You're gonna have a very, very aging Rocky gonna step into the ring. And so it had every opportunity to be goofy and silly and ridiculous and just completely detached from reality, but it wasn't. It was such an incredible part of this story and this franchise. Now for me, as I said at the beginning of this video, one of my all-time favorite characters is Paulie. And for me in Rocky Balboa, this is Paulie's most beautiful and powerful film. I love this thing with him. And there's such beautiful moments with Stallone, with Rocky and Paulie. They have together these really, really incredible moments that they have acting across from one another. And it wraps up so much of the story, what you see through 1 through 5. It's just so beautiful. There's a moment back in the meatpacking plant where you have Stallone and Paulie, Rocky and Paulie having this conversation. And if you've seen the film, you know the conversation I'm talking about when Rocky starts talking about everything he's got still left in the basement. And that is just such a powerful, powerful scene for me. Again, I do cry in that scene every time I see it. And then at the end, the thing you think you want, when you're cheering and rooting for him, when you get a different ending than at least what I was hoping for, what I thought it was going to be, it was still so powerful and beautiful. And if you watch Rocky at the end of that fight and what happens, it's just so, so good. So I don't want to give away too many spoilers if you haven't seen it, but Rocky Balboa, if you've never watched it, watch 1 through 5 and then watch Rocky Balboa. It is so good, and for me, it comes in at number 3. Okay, so this is super difficult for me, but you gotta rank them. So coming in at number 2 for me is the first Creed movie. I loved it. I was a little nervous. I wasn't sure what this was going to be. Was this Stallone getting back in the ring again? But it wasn't. It was Michael B. Jordan coming in as Adonis Creed and Stallone, Rocky, being his trainer. And it is such a great story. For me, the most powerful, beautiful, and I use the word beautiful a lot in this video because I think this series is so beautiful. For me, the scene is in the ring when Adonis is fighting the final big fight. There is a scene, a moment in that where he has this, Stallone's character, Rocky, asks him a question and Michael B. Jordan responds, Adonis responds, and his response in the ring before the final round, I was watching this, I missed it in theater, life was crazy and busy and hectic at that time. I bought it the day it came out on Blu-ray and I watched it at home that night and I literally jumped off my couch and yelled at the TV with my fist in the air. I was that excited, tears streaming down my face. So pumped, so excited for that moment, how he responds, and then the music. Everything about that scene is absolutely amazing. The first Creed film is so good. Michael B. Jordan absolutely crushed it. Amazing cast, amazing direction. I can't recommend that film highly enough. If you've never seen the Rocky films, you could jump in at Creed and really appreciate that film. It is so good. So for me, number 2 is Creed. Well, friends, you already know what number one is going to be, but before I tell you about it, or how I feel about the film, let me know in the comments below how you would rank the Rocky and Creed films. What are your favorites? What are your least favorites? It's going to be Rocky 5. But let me know how you would rank these films, what you think about my ranking. I would love to hear from you. If you've never seen these films, please do check them out. You got to check them out. They're so good. Anyway, here's the first one. Number one. Coming in at number one is the film that started it all in 1976, and that's just simply Rocky. It is such an amazing story. It's a love story. It's a story about a guy who has been beaten down. He has got nothing going for him. And then he gets this opportunity, this glimmer of hope to be this thing that he would love to be. And it is an amazing story of overcoming, of pushing. It is so motivating. It is powerful. It's inspiring. I have run the steps in Philadelphia. I've taken a picture by the statue, the Rocky statue in Philadelphia. I'm that big of a fan. I ran the stairs with my daughter in my arms, singing the song as I'm running up those stairs. I love the Rocky franchise. This film started off in a beautiful, powerful way, introducing us to all of these characters. You got Rocky, Adrian, obviously Paulie, and Mickey, the legendary coach for Rocky. Such a great film, such a great cast. I can't recommend it highly enough. I do recommend you start at number one and then just work your way through. If you have to skip five, skip five. It's fine. But work your way through. It's such a beautiful, amazing, powerful film series that I can't talk highly enough of. You've probably seen montages of his training in the various films. Sometimes they're memes and they're pretty funny. Anyway, friends, if you've never checked out the Rocky franchise, please check it out. It is so good. I got to see the very first Rocky film. It came out before I was born, but about 4 or 5 years ago, in the town that I was in, the theater was doing classic films, and they showed the 1976 Rocky in theater, and I got to see it in theater for the first time, and I cried, obviously, at the very end as he's screaming for Adrian. Anyway, friends, it is such a good film series. I hope you do check it out. And again, in the comments below, let me know how you would rank these films as we celebrate this unbelievable franchise that I know I am personally very thankful for. So anyway, friends, thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with me, hearing me ramble on about my favorite film series, this Rocky series. I really do appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. If you like this video, please do hit like. Please do subscribe down below if you want more of this kind of content. Take care of yourselves, friends, and we'll see you next time.